So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Sandra Wogemuth. I am a solution specialist with Microcat. I have a background as a BIMCAT manager with an engineering firm. Before I joined Microcat, I have been uh, dealing and working with Revit since 2005. And interestingly enough, I am also and have been an end user and a witness of modular construction in real life throughout my entire life. So this subject is very much dear and near to me. So starting off, let's go a little bit into the history of modular construction and just dissolve some myths and misperceptions and prospects about it. So we start talking about modular construction with the Crystal Palace. It was designed by Sir Joseph Paxton in 1851. That was done for the first World's Fair, and it was the first large-scale example of prefabrication. But not until the early 1900s, with the advent of Sears, Roebuck and Company, did we start seeing prefabricated homes. And I don't know if you remember, here's an excerpt of their catalog. They used to be able to um, buy a home through a catalog through Sears. And then post World War II, prefab continued to grow as a solution for housing, for the housing crisis in the United States. And it helped to accommodate some soldiers returning from war. But these modular concepts at the beginning did not offer many opportunities. And the mass production look-alike building popped up, and this was ultimately started giving modular construction a not so charming reputation. And that is something that is not true nowadays. I would say that the biggest and greatest misconception about modular buildings is that they aren't formidable enough or built to last. The truth is, quality is among the greatest advantages that modular construction can have. These structures have tighter tolerances due to fitting components in the field, and they can withstand whatever extreme weather Mother Nature can offer. So because all these buildings, they're built in and they're fabricated in a factory, um, that leverages robotics and computer-aided technology to create these specialized building components. And the predictability of the parts and the replicability of building parts uh, lead to higher quality products as people oversee the development and conduct rigorous quality assurance testing, which helps for continuous improvement. The other big misconception about modular architecture is that it relegates the builder to a standard design that is going to be lacking color or lacking character. However, high-end modular buildings are virtually indistinguishable from their stick-built counterparts. So with the help of today CAD programs, you can design, refine, and tinker with modules from the macro level to each teeny weeny detail. And this level of customizability has made the process infinitely more creative. And when it is combined with computer precision of robotic construction, the only thing that comes between an architect's vision and construction reality is physics. We come to structural engineers sometimes bitching about architects becoming too creative. Now, if I want to predefine modular housing, um, modular housing design is a construction method where homes or buildings are built in sections or modules, and then they're assembled in the site. This allows for a more cost-efficient construction. I mean, most of it will be done in a factory, not on the site. And we all know that time in the site is so much more expensive. So this concept of modular design is going to be really revolutionizing. And I think we're just seeing the beginning of this revolution called modular housing design. I think the more that we go into these prefabricated modules that can then be assembled on site, thus drastically reducing the construction time and costs. You have to think about it. It's like magic. For me, this modular concept is definitely like magic. And the rise of demand for affordable, high quality housing is going to make modular design the practical solution for homeowners. So when you start planning, and if you start planning your floor plan and your building with the concept that you're going to do a modular design and that you're going to streamline the construction process, you're going to be able to be so much more aesthetic, and it's going to minimize delays, and it is going to ensure a smoother transition from the factory production to the on-site installation. And you're going to have a faster, more predictable build that maintains high quality standards. The other huge advantage of modular design is that we are going to be addressing housing insecurity and sustainability globally. So it has the potential to tackle critical global challenges in the architecture, engineering, construction, and operations industry. Modular design, it offers scalable, cost-effective solutions to housing insecurity, providing safe and affordable homes where there are needed most. And it's also going to be a more sustainable solution from traditional methods. It is going to be generating less waste. We're going to be using fewer resources, and we're going to be able to incorporate energy and efficient technologies so much easier. So the added benefits is that once developers realize that they can get quality and style, starting with timeliness. And what you see here in this picture, as I told you, I have been a user and an end user of modular design. This beautiful house that you see here on the side, this was the day after it was put together. So we could predict something that is called timeliness, something that is very difficult to achieve in the construction industry. Why? Because parts are being created in a controlled environment, and projects can come together faster and are less subject to delays. So the assembly that is being done indoors means that developers can avoid external environmental factors, weather is not going to be an issue. The ability of moving parts forward simultaneously rather than waiting for a part to be completed before moving to the next, right? And it is mind-blowing when you are sitting on the side and you see 3 tractor trailers putting in with the 2 halves of the house and the roof, and then they go about it and they put it together, and lo and behold, 24 hours later, you have that house built on the site. Next subject to keep in mind is definitely safety. Because when you're doing modular and prefabricated components that are being built in a factory instead of in the construction site, you absolutely reduce construction site injuries. And then fewer people, fewer vehicles, fewer moving parts are going to be producing enhanced safety. And then we are in an era where we have to do more with fewer people. That is the reality of our lifetime right now. And skilled workers are retiring. Uh, this new technology enhanced factory environment is going to be crucial. In the fabrication setting, there are fewer unknowns compared to the construction site. Building components together will allow employees to enjoy regular hours, predictable commutes, better training, and consistent supervision. So this industrialized approach to construction will create safer, more predictable projects while providing certain schedule, cost, and quality, all attributes that make construction jobs more desirable to a diverse pool of talents. So the benefits, just to summarize all this, we're going to have faster construction. It's going to be more cost efficient, better quality control. It's going to be more sustainable. It is flexible and customizable, and you're going to have a reduced site disruption. The Autodesk software for modular housing design is definitely going to be Revit in collaboration with them, Collaborate Pro, and absolutely the architecture, engineering, and construction collection. Okay, going now more into the nitty gritty, and I'm going to be talking about the tools that Revit offers to get this solution done. First of all, let's remember that Revit has this capability called assemblies. Assemblies will allow you to combine multiple building elements into a single assembly that can be independently scheduled, tagged, and filtered. Thus, being able to produce shop drawings that can go out to the factory, and so that everybody knows quantities. And not only that, it can place instances and quickly generate assembly views. Okay, and we're talking about this initial level of modular architecture. We're talking about panels that are going to be wall panels, right? And you can have a solid wall panel like we have here. We can have a wall panel that contains a door. You can have wall panels that contain windows. They can all be created on the factory and then just shipped with a tractor trailer and a crane into the site and be assembled together. And I myself have seen this happening, and it's mind-blowing. Okay, that is the first level of modular design. And the advantage of assemblies is that it will create an added node in the Revit project browser where you can just grab the floor or a front wall or a left wall or a rear wall or a right wall or a roof and just put it together. And as per each of these elements, you can create the views that you want for them. So that is level one of how Revit can contribute to modular design. Okay. Level two is Revit groups. So if you start grouping, repeating design, you will have a local base point that will allow you to switch in and out in different solutions to align these points. And then you can also create a library of layouts for future use. Okay, and you can start combining all these groups into the whole building. Now, groups have another huge advantage in Revit, and it is that they can be exported out and be saved as Revit projects, separate Revit projects. And then you can build huge buildings. And again, here I have seen this happening. I've seen it happening in two different jobs that I was involved with, where a Revit model was produced of a housing unit. And then through using a site project and using shared coordinates, that model or those different types of housing units, in the first project, it was like 6 or 7 different housing units that made the building, and each model was a separate housing building. housing unit. The advantages of that are going to be portrayed in my next slide. So when you have, and we're going to call this the module, we're going to have individual modules as links from all the disciplines. So you're going to have a module model. We're going to have the electrical parts. We're going to have the mechanical and piping parts. We're going to have the structural parts, and you're going to have the architectural part to have a solid model put together, right? And then these files can be saved in your company's library and can be reused. So if we put everything together as a concept, for me, it's mind blowing, right? You can start with assemblies, and then with those assemblies, start putting up your modules on however you want to create your modules. I mean, you can create modules for bedroom units, you can create modules for your bathroom units, for your living room, kitchen spaces, and put them together. You can create modules of your whole houses. Now, the advantage of having all this done in 3D, as it goes with Revit, is that it makes it very easy to convey to the clients. In conjunction with other softwares, for example, like Inkscape, you can create live walkthroughs where you can really convey your design intent and really design in a modular fashion. So with this whole story, I am going to open up the floor for questions.
Thank you, Sandra, for this wonderful presentation. Let me go over the questions. Okay, the first question is, why would you choose modular design over traditional design? That's a good question.
Awesome question, Juliana. Thank you very much. I think that my options for going for modular design, as I mentioned before, is the predictability of the schedules, of the delivery schedules. As I mentioned, that house that I showed you before, we knew exactly when the house was going to be inhabitable. And if you have ever been in a building, an actual house, and I have been involved in that process too, delays in the construction site are something that you have to live with, which is something that you can completely avoid when you go on the solution for using modular design.
Perfect, thank you. Second question is, with the use of Revit and the tools that you showed us, can you still have a custom designed home?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that has been my biggest point in this webinar. And it's to get away from that myth that modular design is like cookie cutter, because you can the houses that are there in the market, and my shout out to all the companies that are already doing modular design in the United States and worldwide. You have beautiful designs out there, so the choice is immense. And then I know as a fact that you can sit with them and talk about your needs and wants and customize that house and make it feel as if it is a designed house, it being modular, by cutting the costs to less than, I think, about 50% of traditional construction methods.
Okay, third question we have is, do you think modular design isn't the way to go?
I think, and then, I mean, one always hopes, right? One always hopes, but I think if there is people that are planning to build their own house, to me, my advice would always be go modular. You have so many choices, you have so many opportunities, and it is affordable, it is sustainable, there is going to be less waste, less resources used, um, and still you can make it very much your imprint, and you're going to be able to build your own house. I mean, the other way around, the way the world is going, it ain't going to happen. Now we need to start being more sustainable. Okay, so for me, yay, let's go modular. that's that's my final point on this.
Thank you. Okay, and if you want to learn any of these topics in detail, you can always take a custom training with Sandra or someone else on our team. And we also offer group classes online. So here's our contact information based on region, and you'll also have there my contact information with my email. And you will be also getting like a thank you email after this webinar. And you can reply to that as well if you have further inquiries. We also have on the the right hand, the registration for our upcoming webinars. We have coming on February 27th from 2D to 3D, seamless transition with Revit. So that one will be very interesting. And also, even if you cannot make it, we advise you to register so you can get the on-demand recording anyways. So yeah, with that, I would like to say thank you to Sandra and thank you to everyone who attended. Again, this is our contact information. Just call us and we'll get you up and running. And register for our webinar so you can get the on-demand recording. So if there's nothing else, I would like to say thank you and goodbye, Sandra. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you for your time. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.